Check out Lux Life Discovered on Facebook and Instagram and on 30a.tv. See you next time on Lux Life Discovered.
Hello, I'm Rick Steiner. Welcome to Lux Life Discovered. My co-host today is Shannon Richmond. So Shannon, glad to have you back.
Always glad to be back.
And our guest today is Dennis Martin with Pearce Bespoke. So Dennis, thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
So for those who are not familiar with your company, kind of tell us a little bit about what you do and then we'll go from there.
Sure. So Pearce Bespoke is bespoke is basically means custom. So we are a custom clothing line for men. We sell confidence, we sell convenience, and we sell customization. Convenience in the fact that we don't have a storefront. What we do is we go out to our clients. We have a trunk with about 1,000 different Italian and other European fabrics. They get to pick through the fabrics. They get to pick the liners for their jackets, their buttons. They get to do all kind of different things to really customize their suit or their sport coat, their trousers, shirts, whatever. So our big thing is the convenience. It's the customization, and it's the confidence that we're able to do. And we do that through the fit and the customization, because our big thing is we want it to fit just right. I can say, when I first bought my first custom suit, I can say that I was as confident as I've ever been going into a business meeting. That's really what got me into this business. This is really my second business. I had another company that I started almost 25 years ago, or the business I was in 25 years ago, started that company and got out of it, and really enjoyed the process of going in, sitting down, picking out what I was going to, build for my suit, and making it fit right. We go a little bit step above and beyond even that at Pearce Bespoke. We take over 25 different measurements if you're doing a men's suit. But again, we're not all about suits. Down here it gets pretty toasty. So I have to be really careful about not getting boxed in as being the suit guy. I purposely, today I didn't wear a suit because, we're getting into some different things. Like this shirt I have, this is a short sleeve shirt.
Okay.
We really want to do a lot with a look like this down here, sport coat. People will say, well, people don't go to 30A or they don't go to, any of these areas down here to get dressed up. And I would beg to differ.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes on down here.
Yep.
And people get dressed up. Now, they might not always wear a suit, but hey, they're going to nice jacket. And so we're actually coming out this line. You'll notice the collar is a little bit bigger here. It's got the collar stays in it, so it really stays up. So, we're really I'm trying to adapt, a little bit to the lifestyle down here too. Because I think, you have a nice jacket, a shirt, and a pocket square, you can look as good as anybody anywhere in the country. So anyway, that's kind of what we do.
Right, and there are a lot of events down here lately because especially spring, early spring to like first part of summer, and then back into the fall again, where there are some very high-end events, and you do need dressier clothes.
Well, so there's a magazine that we advertised in. It's Eastern Shore Social. And they also have Coastal Social, and that basically covers the Eastern Shore as well as like Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, and all that. And if you flip through that magazine, I mean, it's about that thick, and it's all social events. And
they don't post people in there just shirts and jeans.
They may, it's. I mean, and then so we have our franchises all the way from Mobile to Panama City, and you just look at what happens in Mobile for Mardi Gras.
You got it, yes.
I mean, there's an entire, and it's not just there. It's all over the Gulf Coast with Mardi Gras. So people are getting dressed up.
Yeah.
People want to look good. They want And when they do, they're their most confident.
And like you were saying, when they get dressed up, especially for like some of the specific events they attend, they want that personal look and not just a jacket off a storefront somewhere.
Well,
they want that personal description of what their personality is. Yeah, yeah.
Well, exactly. We do everything. You look at this jacket, and it's everything from the buttons to where my pocket is. It's to, how these pockets slant.
Right.
To, you see here, there's an extra pocket here, which is called a hotel key pocket.
Never knew that.
The linings. Now, I don't really get caught up in the linings, but some of these guys do. You got your name in the the inside of the jacket there. But we've done everything from. I just left this morning, and a guy wanted to. He was in the animal overnight business, whatever you call that. He keeps dogs
lodging,
overnight.
yeah.
Lodging. So he gave us a picture of his dog. So we're going to put a picture of his dog inside of the lining.
Yeah,
so, we had a guy the other day that's a pilot, and we got a picture of his plane, and we put the picture of his plane, in his jacket.
So nice.
So it really is, about the customization.
Yeah.
And some of these guys, I met you at a wedding show.
Right.
And, sometimes these guys, they've never had a suit before.
Sure.
True.
And my clients over the years have been, attorneys and financial advisors, and they're pretty buttoned up, but you get some of these guys that they're getting their first suit, and boy, and a lot of them are blue collar guys, and you'd be amazed at how geeky they get with picking out.
Do they really?
That's amazing.
So they go from like really not probably thinking they're going to care about it, all of a sudden it's like, hey, wait, this looks good.
Hey, we're going to do this. I want this color.
Yeah.
We want this, and it just amazes me. So I've really, even though I got into this business as my second career, it's something I love to do and love to help people with our products. I have to watch out sometimes because people will say, well, what do you think? And I tell them what I think, but I'm like, my viewpoint on what my style is it's not yours.
Right.
You have to remember that it's all about customization to you. You don't want to have the same suit somebody else does. That's not the purpose of why we're.
Well, that's like when somebody comes to me for an event or wedding, they're like, well, you just do what you want. You do a great job. I'm like, it's not, no, this is your event, your personality. It needs to be reflected.
Right.
And this is the same way that, that's interesting.
The worst thing you could do is probably show up in a suit that looks like it belonged to your dad. You need something
Or what everybody else has. Yeah.
Well, like women, when we go to events, we just have the stores around here, and you see 2 or 3 of the same dresses. So it's so nice to have that option and also to describe who you are.
Yep.
I love that. Steve's going to have one. So are you.
Well, you know what? I know you can call.
Right. You just happen to know someone that can take care of
It
that.
feels so good to feel good.
Yeah.
If you feel like you look good, your day is going to be fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, my son, he's the one that we have Fort Worth, Texas as well, and he runs that. And he called me Friday, and he met with an attorney there, actually one of his clients, not mine. And the guy ordered 3 suits, but he had just lost 30 pounds. And so, he's like, he was really looking forward to feeling good about himself. And, hopefully we're going to help him feel better about himself.
Sure, yeah. So when somebody comes to you, if you've got that many fabrics in the trunk, to show, how in the world, where do you start? I mean,
with 1,000.
Yeah, because they'd be
just give me 2 choices.
overwhelming.
No, so
here's your choice for today. Yeah.
So the process generally takes between an hour and an hour and a half.
Okay.
And it's a fun experience, depending on who they are, I'll find out what they like to drink, and, I'll bring whatever, fix them a drink, and we'll really just kind of start going through, what style, do you like? And, if it's, if they want something solid, we can start down that road. If they want something pinstripe or with a little bit of, variety in it,
Flair.
Yeah, flair, we can go that route. And, invariably they're going to go through, I mean, we have 18 different books that they're going to choose from.
Wow.
Some of it's going to depend on price too.
Sure.
And so, I generally start out with, okay, here's our $1,200 two-piece suits. Let's look through there. I really personally, I don't think I've ever spent more than $2,000 on a custom suit. So I think that our fabrics are just as good as those. So, I don't want to necessarily upsell somebody. I want to say, let's see if you can find something here.
And they may move up.
Yeah. Because maybe they're going to buy two. If they can
True.
buy,
Yeah.
So we start there, and we kind of go through it, and they'll find something they like and say, okay, let's just dog ear that and come back to it, because you're going to find something, you're going to change your mind, and they'll boil it down to what they.
So do they get overwhelmed in the process of
I don't think so. It's a fun process.
Is it good? Yeah.
Now sometimes the wife is there and they shove it off on the wife and
Right.
girlfriend.
Well, they know
and they do
not-
that.
Yeah.
So we do have those clients as well.
Yeah.
But it's a fun, very laid back process, and
And most people are doing it for the first time, actually doing that custom piece.
we do have we have a competitor that, believe it or not, has been doing this for a very long time. They did almost $1 billion in sales.
Oh, wow.
Last year.
Wow.
So they're no fly by night. So I run into those guys a lot. So a lot of our customers are ones that are maybe a little bit dismayed with them because maybe they've gotten a little bit complacent or too big,
Right.
and they're not showing the attention,
yeah.
right?
The love that you think.
Yeah, and this is a business where you've got to show that attention and
Sure,
that love.
yeah.
So
Well, good. So you have suits, jackets, you have pants, shirts.
yeah,
What
so
else?
we've got to be really careful not to, again, box ourselves in with suits.
Right.
Because I'm not going to be wearing a suit in July down here.
True. Yeah.
This is what I'm going to be wearing.
Yeah.
So suits, sport coats, custom dress shirts. We've actually right now in March we're doing a free custom shirt for new customers. So
You're doing it when March?
in March.
Okay.
We're in March. There you go, Rick.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's like I have a nice Armani suit I bought years
Okay.
ago, and then I gained a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And my wife threatens me that if I die before I lose back to that weight, I'll still be buried in that suit. I'll just be split in the back and the pants, but it's going to be on me. So,
Well, if you want one, we'll measure.
right, we may have to update that.
We'll measure you up before I leave. But so trousers, and then we're working on these type polos. So it's business to business casual wear.
Right. Okay.
We don't do anything on the casual front, because again, it's all about, for us, it's all about the fit. The fit is so important. This morning I met with actually met them at your event. And the son is his sister's getting married, and he's 25, and he put on his suit that he had, and it was almost like the Incredible Hulk. This guy was 6'3", his arms were about that big.
Gosh, yeah.
Around, he had big shoulders, and so anyway, he's not going to look good in an off the rack suit.
Yeah, he needs something.
He needs something
custom,
that's gonna fit him just right. So
well, good.
and that's where we come in.
Yeah. Aren't you glad you came to the show now? For sure.
Yeah, no, it was a good show, good turnout, and
I think that'd be just such a fun experience getting to do that, and I would hope that the guy would do it and not make his wife do it, because it's for him. I mean, unless he just wants her to pick what she likes.
It depends on the age. The younger, the more they're really going to get into it. Yeah. We had.
I see that because
we had a guy. We met through another wedding show, and the guy was 6'10",
so can't find anything.
400 pounds.
Wow.
Now, I Googled it. There's nobody in the NFL that's bigger than this guy. He was a mountain.
Okay.
And so like big pig, not just big, but
And he was just big.
yeah,
He was just
yeah.
a mountain. And you would have been amazed to see the process. This guy's about 26 years old. You know, he
Gosh.
went through and, you know, he did suit, shirt. He did a vest, and, you know, just really went to the nth degree. Never had a suit
Wow, how neat.
in
Yeah.
his life. So I think the younger,
That probably feels really good for
Yeah.
you too, to be like,
Yeah.
yes.
yeah. But you know, surprisingly enough, our target market is 25 to 40.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. But and I think it is because you have, you know, I'm 52, you know, guys that are younger than me, you know, they taken, you know, better care of themselves than, you know, a lot of the guys that are my age. They work out, they want to be, you know, a little bit unique. So, you know, we're not for everybody, but for someone who really wants to get something that's custom for them, fits just right, you know, there's a big market for that.
Yeah. Well, you see a lot of people my age that are taking better care of themselves too, and they want to feel good about what they've done. And
Well,
feel like
especially,
they've
you
done
know, those that have, you know, gained weight. You know, I've been saying for years that, you know, when I was growing up, you know, Southern women been killing men and making them fat for years. I mean, I didn't know anything other than fried food
Right.
until I met my wife, and you know, that's not.
And she just ruined all that fun. Huh?
She ruined all that. But you know, you're right. A lot of those people, you know, they reached a point in their life, and you
Yeah.
know, they've. As a matter of fact, the father today, where I was at, he had just lost 30 pounds,
Okay.
and so you know, he got a suit for the wedding because he had plenty of suits, but he was to the point to where none of them fit him
Right.
just right. So,
And it's hard to take some of your suits that you have after you've lost weight and have them tailored to
To still
look good.
right.
They
Yeah.
still
yeah,
don't look right. Yeah.
but still off the shelf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, still off the shelf.
So do women ever come to you for a suit?
We do. So
Good
we
point.
we
Yeah.
have, especially, you know, we can do a really nice custom blazer and pants for a female. So work wise, you know, absolutely. So a lot of attorneys that you know have to do, you know, be that. So any of the fabrics that we have, you can make, you know, a blazer or
yeah.
a pair of pants.
Oh.
You know, I hadn't thought about this. My daughter-in-law, she's an attorney, and she has trouble finding some clothes sometimes that are court appropriate.
Yeah.
So this, I'll have to tell her about this. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you can be measured, we can do it.
Right.
You know,
Mm-hmm. Okay, how important is a pocket square
to me,
in general?
well, and I can
What
just
does it
give you
mean
my.
to you for a pocket square?
It makes the jacket pop, the suit pop,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's one thing, you know, if I'm in, you know, Fairhope, Alabama, and somebody says, "Hey, that's a nice jacket or a nice suit." It's another if I'm in Chicago or New York and somebody comes up and says that to me.
Yeah.
I think the pocket square is everything's personal, right?
But it's a finish look,
It's
right?
the finish.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Just like girls put on earrings, you know, it's the
Right.
finish.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the
So what's the proper way to do the pocket square?
well, you can. That's the thing. You can do. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. I've never been really good at it. You know,
I think,
But-
yeah.
but
I think it looks good.
yeah, but you know, so we do it a little different way, just depending on
Just
what
kinda-
the jacket is, and you know, this is something like this
like
is
the jacket
really
and the
nice. You know,
personality, yeah.
this one's kind of reversible. You know, so if I don't,
How
you
come
know,
it's a
like,
pocket square? That's not square.
huh?
That's not square.
Well, a handkerchief, a hanky. How about that?
Okay,
We'll call
okay,
that.
okay.
You know.
Leave it to Shannon to be.
It
man.
sounds like
Pocket
it.
square.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you don't want to be square though, right?
No.
You want this thing. So I think it's one of the most important,
Well, see, that
Parts
changes the
of
whole
the-
look too. That's
did.
yeah. It
yeah,
does,
of the outfit. Because I can tell guys, I'm like, especially guys starting out, you know, don't go out and spend a ton of money on a bunch of suits. Get about 5 different suits. You know, if you're starting out and you're a financial advisor or you're, an attorney. Let's get 3 or 4 suits to start out with. Then let's get 5 or 6 shirts. Let's get 8 or 10 ties. Let's get 8 or 10 pocket squares.
You do the ties also.
We can do
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
So, and we also I didn't finish that, but we can also do tuxedos.
Okay.
And we can do overcoats, which this far we don't do a lot of
Nice.
overcoats
All right.
down in,
Yeah,
in
sure,
this,
down
this
here.
town.
Yeah.
But in the Oklahoma and Texas market, it's a little cooler there, and we do
Right.
do those. But yeah, let's do that. And you're going to be wearing something that nobody's going to know you're going to be wearing it from one week to the next.
Right.
Yeah. So would you recommend, like, if you're doing multiple, are you doing different colors in the suits, or are you trying to keep them all the same, or changing the jackets out when you do that? What are your thoughts on all that?
It's more about changing out the shirt, the tie, and the pocket square at
There
that
you
point,
go.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
So let's say you're an
Gives
attorney,
you
you're
like your whole
starting
different
out.
outlook. Yeah.
Get a gray pinstripe, a blue pinstripe, a window pane, a couple of suits, maybe solid colors. We can do a lot with that with
then
different
change your
shirts and
shirts, yeah.
ties and pocket squares.
Good idea. Okay.
What is a big obstacle that you've had to overcome with doing what you do?
A lot of what we do is time, right? I mean, we don't have a storefront, so we're making a market. We're having to figure out where we're gonna grab people, especially in this market. This market's a little bit different. Keep in mind Fort Worth and Tulsa. We've had that, but now from Mobile to Panama City, it's a little bit of a learning curve. I hadn't been to a wedding shows until we came down here. But you see all the weddings that happen down here, you better be involved in that. They're pretty good events. You can be drinking by 10 o'clock in the morning. Some of these things.
Sure, yeah.
So that's not bad.
Make it a good day,
yeah, you can start the day off right. And I can sell a hell of a lot better when a couple of cocktails. But it is a market that we're having to understand. And not only that, I mean, trends have changed, especially with work people. In Fort Worth, our attorneys, I would go meet with them, and they'd be in blue jeans.
I was gonna say that's a whole different, yeah.
In Fort Worth formal, I said if you got a nice sport coat and a nice pair of jeans and
The belt buckle said more about,
clean cowboy boots, so that was Fort Worth formal.
Yeah.
And here it's a little bit different. Tulsa was a little bit more formal than Fort Worth
Interesting.
was.
Yeah.
In their dress. But again, down here it's trying to figure out, again, when we first moved down here, I had no concept that we'd be doing, something like, this shirt. But
I love the wider collar.
Yeah.
It stays tucked in so neat.
Yeah. I've actually got a picture with this and a tie. Now I'd never do it, but you can't tell in the picture that this is a short sleeve shirt. Yeah.
But
That's
that collar
interesting. Yeah,
stuff,
and it just makes sense down
Yeah.
here because it's so much cooler.
So
yeah.
hot.
But that's the attention to detail.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. And my wife will tell you that I have, and I do, I admit it, I have the worst attention to detail that you'll ever have, except when it comes to this. And I don't know why that is, but again, going
That's
back
your
to
area of
when
expertise.
when you say how important is a pocket square, I say it's even if I've just got a white actual pocket square in here, there's something that's going to be in here.
Boring.
There's something's going to be in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it's just the finishing touch.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, and then something that we touched on at the bridal show when we met is that you and I have a connection that we never even knew about, but I live in Murray, Kentucky, and you lived there for several years.
Well, I was actually, I was in the transportation and logistics business for 26 years. Hated every minute of it. Never knew you could have fun until I got in this business with what
Isn't
you
that
do.
how funny how we spend so much of our lives in something, and then you realize, wait, there's more.
What am I doing? There's more to
you
life.
enjoy working. Yeah.
So there was a company. There was a really big trucking company that was based out of Murray, Kentucky, and I was a vice president for them years ago. Yeah. And I'd have to go to Murray. So when I met Rick and I noticed that 270 area code, I'm like, where'd I ask you if you live?
Paducah.
Paducah, which is,
40 miles.
Yeah,
north,
40 miles. I thought, well, I'm not going to ask you if you live in Murray, Kentucky.
Because what were the chances? Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, no, I live in Murray. I'm like, oh my gosh, really? So
yeah, I'm sure we know many of the same people.
Probably
that's
so.
Crazy. Yeah. But it's amazing how small the world is. When you start talking to people and connections and stuff, it's amazing how we're all kind of interconnected somehow. It's like somehow, what is it, 6 degrees of separation? Is that the book? Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, I lived in Panama City at one point about 30 years ago with a company that had an office that I worked for there. Uh-huh. And my wife and I had our first date in Panama City.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that.
Yeah.
And now here you are, full circle.
Yeah. Full circle.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Well, Dennis, our time is up. So, it was quick, but look and tell everybody how to contact you, because I'm sure you're going to get a lot of interest on. I think this is neat. I'll definitely be following up with you.
Good.
For sure. I even probably won't.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We can
do matching.
Yeah, so my phone number is 251-278-8270. I live right outside of Mobile, and I'm back and forth between Mobile and this area, every week. It's there's a lot worse areas that you could be traveling.
That's true. A lot of rough
probably my favorite. All the places I've lived or been in the world, this is probably one of my favorite stretches of real estate. And then my email is dmartin@pearcebespoke.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking time to come over and be with us today. We enjoyed it very much.
You.
Yeah, it was fun.
Appreciate it.
All right. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Lux Life Discovered.
Check out Lux Life Discovered on Facebook and Instagram and on 30a.tv. See you next time on Lux Life Discovered.